Welcome, everyone. Let's jump right into discussing the intriguing dynamics between water shortages and food security. It's a topic that really underpins so many global challenges.
Absolutely. It's like this intricate web where water scarcity directly shapes the availability and stability of food supplies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Food security, as defined by the UN, means ensuring that all people have access, physically, socially, and economically, to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. And it's crazy to think that water shortages can, throw all that out of balance.
That's a crucial point. I mean, water is the cornerstone of agriculture, and well, we depend on it so deeply for growing our food, right?
Right? It's like agriculture uses up about 70% of our global freshwater withdrawals, which makes it both a victim and a contributor to water scarcity.
Yeah, exactly.
As the world population grows, demand for agricultural output skyrockets and water shortages just compound the problem.
And when you consider that agriculture needs to expand by another 70% by 2050 to meet global needs, it really highlights the challenges, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's like we're caught in a vicious cycle. On one hand, we need to produce more food, but on the other, our water resources are dwindling due to extreme weather events like droughts and heat waves, not to mention heavy rainfall and floods disrupting supplies.
Yeah, and um, these extremes are tied directly to climate change, which has really ramped things up, hasn't it?
For sure, climate change is a major driver here. The rapid rise in global temperatures and altered precipitation patterns are not only reducing the quality and quantity of water available, but also increasing natural disasters like droughts and
Yeah, indeed.
wildfires. That, in turn, devastates agricultural practices and food production.
So it's a double whammy, right? Not only are crops suffering from lack of water, but also water itself can be contaminated by the very practices we use in agriculture.
Exactly. Water contamination is a huge issue. Sewage, untreated industrial and agricultural waste flow directly into our water bodies, carrying pesticides and toxins that further lower water quality. And this
Absolutely.
contamination then circles back to food security by compromising the water needed for healthy crops and livestock.
Hmm. It's interesting how interconnected these issues are. But what about the impact of population growth? That seems like another layer to the predicament.
Right, population growth coupled with urbanization is a big factor. With only 2.5% of the Earth's water being fresh water, and with many regions already overtaxed, the
Yeah, no
increasing
doubt about that.
demand really strains our systems. It pushes prices up and leaves vulnerable communities in the lurch.
Speaking of prices, rising food prices are a clear manifestation of this crisis, aren't they?
Yes, rising food prices are one of the most visible effects of water shortages. When production decreases due to insufficient water, food prices spike, creating access barriers. In fact, conflicts, whether due to local resource competition or international trade disputes, are amplified by this scarcity.
Right on. I was thinking, though, on this point, don't you think sometimes the focus on water scarcity overshadows the potential innovations in agriculture, like drought resistant crops or improved irrigation techniques?
That's a valid critique. While there's always a push for innovative solutions like drought-resistant crops and smart irrigation, the article really stresses that these measures, though critical, need to be part of a broader systemic approach that includes infrastructure improvements and policy changes.
Yeah, it's a bit like trying to fix a leaky roof with only duct tape. We need comprehensive strategies to address these interconnected issues.
Exactly. And what do you think about the recommendation for sustainable agriculture and improved irrigation systems? These solutions aim to um, make water use more efficient while still meeting food production demands.
I think those are essential steps. For instance, the project in Bolivia, which is backed by a $300 million investment, and the additional financing in Tajikistan, they're examples of how targeted infrastructure can help secure water supplies for agriculture and ultimately avert food crises.
Right. And on top of that, smart water management is key. Simple investments like reducing urban water leaks could save up to 200 billion cubic meters of water globally by
Absolutely.
2030. It's remarkable how small changes in infrastructure can lead to huge water conservation.
And this is all happening against the backdrop of a rapidly changing climate. It's like we're in a race against time. How do we even keep up?
Well, addressing climate change is central to the whole strategy. The article underlines that future water scarcity will only worsen if we don't dramatically reduce emissions and adopt climate-smart agriculture. It's a multifaceted challenge where no single
No
solution
argument
is
there.
enough.
Let's also not forget the role of water contamination in all of this. It's one thing to have water, but it's quite another if the water is unsafe for consumption or irrigation.
Definitely, unsafe water leads directly to malnutrition. Manuel Fontaine from UNICEF emphasized that no matter how much food a malnourished child eats, if the water isn't safe, it just doesn't fix the underlying health issues. And then you get cycles of waterborne diseases worsening the situation.
Exactly.
It really paints a concerning picture.
Right, and then there's the concept of food waste. Isn't it astonishing that around a third of all food produced globally goes to waste? That's enough to feed billions.
It is indeed. Food waste is a major driver of food insecurity. With 1.3 billion tons of food wasted each year, that's nearly 40% of the global population who could be fed, reducing waste could alleviate some of these pressures.
Yep, spot on. So, in many ways, while water shortages directly impact food production, the ripple effects extend into pricing, conflict, and overall nutrition quality. Would you say these are the main takeaways?
Absolutely, those are the critical points. Water scarcity, driven by inefficient agriculture, climate change, contamination, and population pressures, underpins a lot of the challenges in food security. Not to mention, conflict, both as a cause and a consequence, further destabilizes these systems.
And it's not just about producing enough food, but also about making sure that food is accessible, affordable, and nutritious. A true picture of what food security should be.
Right you are. And that's why the global response needs to be coordinated with investments in infrastructure, sustainable practices, and resilient communities. The World Bank's $30 billion initiative over 15 months is one such example, aiming to strengthen food and nutrition security worldwide.
Indeed. I love that global perspective. Investing in both local and international strategies seems like the way forward. But hey, do you think we're moving fast enough on these fronts?
That's a tough one. Progress is being made, sure, but given the scale of challenges, rapid population growth, escalating natural disasters, and ongoing conflicts, it definitely feels like we're often a step behind. It's like trying to outrun a freight train.
That's a stark analogy, but it hits home. And with the compounded effects of rising food prices and malnutrition, immediate and multifaceted approaches are clearly needed.
Right? And let's not forget the role of education and public awareness. Informing communities about sustainable practices, the importance of reducing water and food waste, and adapting diets to local, especially seasonal choices, can help build resilience from the ground up.
Totally agree. I also find it noteworthy that some solutions emphasize local autonomy, like local farmers focusing on feeding their communities rather than just cash crops. That could really stabilize food security if scaled effectively.
Yes, that's an interesting approach, moving away from over-commercialization and fostering local supply chains. It ensures that the produce feeds local needs first before any surplus is considered for export.
Yeah, sharp observation. But I have to ask, how do we balance that with global trade, which is also crucial for food diversity and economic stability?
That's a great question. It's definitely a balancing act. On one hand, local production guards against shortages and price spikes. On the other hand, global trade introduces diversity and resilience. The key is coordinated policies at both levels, a global framework that supports local self-sufficiency while still promoting fair trade.
In summary, Water shortages impact food security in so many ways, from direct effects on agriculture to broader consequences like conflict and malnutrition. And our solutions need to be just as layered and innovative, right?
Exactly. And while the challenges are huge, there's room for hope if we invest in sustainable practices, robust infrastructure, and coordinated global actions.
Absolutely.
It's all about leveraging knowledge and technology to secure a better future for food and water alike.
Thank you for this deep dive. It's clear that addressing water shortages is pivotal for our global food security, and every step towards sustainable management matters.
Right on. And to our listeners, keep exploring these crucial topics and supporting initiatives that work toward a sustainable and secure future for all.